Here's some weird medieval animal myths, and please do add any strange beliefs that you know from the past in the comments. Stick around until the end for a wondrous mythical creature that you may not have heard of before. And do you think medieval people really believed these tales? Or did they just like drawing weird pictures? Talking of which, for many of the following weird facts, we can thank the Physiologus, an ancient Greek book of beasts that went on to inspire many medieval bestiaries, but wasn't exactly accurate in terms of real animal facts. The Middle Ages saw a rise in popularity of bestiary books. These included wonderful illustrations and a description of the animal, which was usually wrong. That is, if they even existed at all. People believed that every living thing had a God-given special meaning, so entries were often accompanied with a moral story. And that's how you somehow end up with beavers castrate themselves to avoid hunters. Medieval people highly valued beavers for medicinal purposes, and specifically their nuts. Handily, the beaver also knew this, so when pursued by a hunter, it would chew them off and throw them at the pursuing foes. Should another hunter approach, the beaver would show the hunter that the goods were gone, and thus be spared. You know, I wasn't even looking for drawings of this, but they are everywhere when you research the medieval era. Elephants have no knees, and other stories. Thanks to the Physiologus, it was believed that elephants had no knees and could not lie down. Therefore, they supposedly slept standing up, leaning against a tree. If the tree collapsed, so would the elephant, and being unable to get up, the elephant would die. However, some medieval scientists did start to catch on, such as Albertus Magnus, who noted that elephants did in fact have knees, after literally seconds of scientific research of just looking at an elephant. Pliny the Elder wrote that elephants hated mice, which is why that became a common myth. They also apparently lived to 300 years old. Another fun fact from the Physiologus, due to reluctance on the male's part, elephants apparently needed to seek out mandrake roots in order to reproduce. Once eaten, the female will immediately conceive, which is kind of awkward because mandrake roots are tiny, screaming people. The mandrake plant was believed to scream when pulled from the ground, a scream said to be deadly, killing all within earshot. Although technically not an animal, medieval people seem to think it was, with the root even shaped like a full-grown man. Yes, that thing that I thought was just an invention for Harry Potter was in fact a medieval fact. Mandrake root has long been believed to be an aphrodisiac, but don't take too much because it's also powerfully toxic in large doses, causing hallucinations, delirium, and death. But don't worry, if you really want to pick your poison, all you need to do is tie the plant to a dog, chuck a piece of meat, and the dog will then chase the meat and pull up the root itself. Unfortunately, your dog will die from the scream instead, which is a shame because dogs cure disease. It was believed that the breath of a dog could heal wounds, especially those caused by rabid animals. Dogs were also thought to have medicinal properties in their saliva, and if you're suffering from horrific internal wounds, don't worry, just tie a puppy to yourself. I mean, you'll still die, but at least you'll die slightly happier. It was said that a dog will always return to its vomit. Actually, I think that one's true. And if a dog swims across a river whilst holding meat in its mouth, it will drop the meat upon seeing its own reflection, as it tries in vain to get at the meat in the reflection. Oh hey, if you're enjoying the video, subscribe if you want to, and giving it a thumbs up really helps me out. Salamanders are born from fire. Salamanders were thought to be born from fire and were immune to flames. The myth probably arose because salamanders often hide in logs, and when the logs were placed in a fire, the creatures would scurry out, appearing to emerge from the flames. Thus the salamander was considered to be a cold animal, which could extinguish the hottest flames and also turn hot water cold. In a shocking turn of events, bestiary writers did recognise that the salamander was poisonous, an actual true fact. But they also believed that if the salamander climbed an apple tree, it would immediately turn all the apples poisonous. If the booze-loving salamander drank from your wine vessel, all the wine will spontaneously become poisonous too. The skin of the salamander can be used to make clothes that can only be cleaned with fire, and the heart of a salamander can be used to cure filthy lust. Mice are born from dirty linen. There was a widespread belief that mice were created from dirty linen, wheat grains, mud, frost, or by falling from the sky during storms. This idea was part of a broader belief in spontaneous generation, the notion that life could arise from non-living matter. The mouse was said to be mute, except for during a full moon, when their livers would enlarge and they would suddenly start making noise. Mice were believed to be very moist, so if they drank water they would exceed their moistness limit and die. Got earache? Why not burn your mouse and mix the ashes with honey and oil for a cure? Dragonflies want your eyes. Dragonflies were seen as sinister creatures associated with injury, snakes, and the devil. They went by such attractive aliases as horse stinger, devil's darning needle, ear cutter, and eye snatcher. The Welsh named the dragonfly Gwasyneider, which means adder's servant, and there was a myth that dragonflies would follow snakes around and stitch them back together if they were injured. And in a heartwarming story for the kids, it was believed that dragonflies could sew up the eyes and ears of mischievous children. Cranes are multi-talented stone lovers. Cranes were thought to take turns to stand guard, with the lookout crane holding a stone in its claw. If the crane fell asleep, it would drop the stone and the noise would wake it up, thus ensuring its reputation for vigilance. Continuing their love for rock, cranes were believed to carry stones in their beaks during flight to stay silent, avoiding detection, and to improve balance in high winds. And of course, cranes are the mortal enemies of dwarves. Monkeys love one baby more than the other. According to the Radford Bestiary, mother monkeys love one baby but neglect the other, something you will understand if you had a golden child sibling. When hunted, the mother will carry the favourite baby in her arms, leaving the other to cling to her back. But when she gets tired, she will drop the baby from her arms, and only the unloved baby will survive. So nobody wins. Hedgehogs use their spines to pick up grapes. It was believed that athletic hedgehogs would climb vines, shake off the grapes, and then roll over said grapes to stick them onto their spines and carry them back to their dens to eat later. You may know that hedgehogs roll themselves into a ball to protect themselves, but did you know the hedgehog will also creak like a cart to fool you into, I guess, thinking it's a cart? Swans are the best singers. Due to the amazing acoustics of their long necks, swans were believed to be amazing singers who would be drawn to lakeside bards to jam along with them. A popular myth was that swans sang a beautiful mournful song just before they died, the pinnacle of their creativity, their magnum opus, hence the term swan song. And a special mention goes to the Bonnacon, because this one is unreal. The legendary Bonnacon is a bull with the mane of a horse and inward curving horns, which of course were useless for defence. Instead, the Bonnacon would expel large quantities of caustic poop at its pursuers, burning them and everything else around. It could cover up to 3 acres. That's about 2 football pitches. Thanks again to Pliny the Elder for that one. What strange old wives' tales do you know? Tell us in the comments. The only thing stranger than these weird animals are the weird people in this video here. Giving this video a like really helps me out, and subscribe if you want to.